Hi Leo, my favorite Leos. Hi, welcome to Eight of Cups Tarot. Welcome to your cards for June. And as promised, June is a super powerful month and you are no exception to that rule. It's gonna be wonderful and beautiful and tumultuous and maybe a little nerve-wracking, but I feel this fire building for my Leos, this sense of self and getting back to your heart space. We've got a lot going on in the energy in the skies, and hopefully you guys took a few minutes to listen to the astrology for the month of June. It's in a separate video this time. Feel free to check that out. It might guide you through some of the stuff that we're experiencing this month, because it's really shaking things up and it's really putting us on a different path. Now for my Leos, big emphasis on Mars this month. You've got Mars moving into the sign of Leo. You also have Venus moving into your 12th house, making a soft place for the subconscious mind to kind of work through some stuff with compassion. And I think that's a really important feature of the month. So starting out your cards, you are coming out as the Page of Fire. I love this for my Leos because this is what I'm sensing is that reconnection to your heart space and what truly matters to you. And I feel like this is a universe kind of pushing you to follow your heart. Now, I do feel like in the recent months, there's been a lot of resistance to this. And here you are coming out ready to follow the heart. And the Page of Fire doesn't carry like a lot of expectations. He doesn't carry a lot of baggage. It's very childlike. And there's a lot of energy in this reading, which tells me that we're trying to make our way back to a innocent and more beautiful heart space for ourselves. And I get the sense that there's a lot of divine intervention at play, and especially because your environment is that of the Tower. Card number 16, breaking down to a 7, meaning that there are adjustments, changes headed your way. The Tower card always indicates major change happening quickly. And I feel as though there are structures in your life that are starting to crumble. Now, sometimes, and especially in this deck, I see the Tower card as kind of this tower we built in the sky. And because we've been under such a Neptunian influence, and because these eclipses are all making this square to Neptune or square to Jupiter, all kind of this emphasis on building the towers in our sky. And what happens when towers are not built on solid foundations? So underneath this Page of Fire is the bottom of the deck. The emphasis of the month is the Ace of Swords, which is all about that honesty and truth. And I think that there is a universe daring you to speak your truth and to live your truth. Will it be easy? Probably not. Will this be a humbling process? Absolutely. There's going to be parts of you that have to remain, or you have to begin to see yourself in a more humble setting. Okay. This is really not about like the beautiful expectations of how everything's going to work out. There's a practical sense of everything that's going on. And because we have all of these planets that are now going retrograde, it's revealing the real stories so that you could build from there. We're no longer building on fantasies. We're no longer building on things that were never meant to hold steady in the first place. We have to create a new tower. We have to build a new foundation. And in order to do that, there's a lot of self-exploration and a lot of being exposed, I want to say. Allowing yourself to be exposed because you want to live your truth. And we have the Tower card, and right underneath that we have bring love into the situation, a new moon in Aquarius in your 7th house. Leos, you're hosting Saturn in your 7th house of partnerships. And as I've been saying to you, if you have been building relationships and partnerships on unsolid ground, okay, on unsettled foundations, the cracks have been showing and now they start to crumble. And what happens is you get invited to rebuild here. And the only way that a Leo can rebuild, the only way that you could really free yourself from the situation you're in, is to really focus on the situation you want next. And this reading is all about the manifestation of the new things, allowing yourself to believe in things that are possible. Now, the first card out is the Four of Swords in reverse. You seem to be coming out of some sort of a meditation contemplate. And sometimes the Four of Swords can be really secretive, okay? Some reason I'm seeing this Four of Swords is coming out of the closet, sort of speak, okay? The Four of Swords right side up is kind of holding things close, keeping things internal to you, keeping your thoughts and your feelings to yourself, giving yourself time to really understand where we're going next. June hits, and that story is over. It all comes out into the open. Now, what I see here next to the Four of Swords is the Moon card, which kind of represents the secrets. It kind of represents the things that we don't want other people to know, or the feelings that we've been having that we haven't truly expressed. And the moon, much like the sun, which is your ruling planet, the moon eliminates the things that need to come to a head in order for us to move forward. Now, along with these couple of cards, we do have the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups can symbolize a lot of things, one of them being third-party relationships. So if you are in a situation where you're kind of indulging in things you're not supposed to. And this isn't just, affairs. This could be overindulgence. Things are going to come to a head quickly in the month of June. There's going to be a lot of truth that gets revealed, of course, because we have the Ace of Swords as the underlying energy of this reading, which is truth and clarity. And it's all going to come out this month. Now, the Three of Cups, this could be a return to a freer you, a return to your heart, a return to the good parts of life, okay? Because whether this is a third-party scenario, whether this is like overindulging in substances, spending a little bit too much time like in pleasurable situations, meaning, we've been hosting Mars in your 12th house as well. So there's an emphasis on even like addictions and stuff. So if you've been, fulfilling yourself with substances or trying to block things out or not dealing with the real world in some way, that all comes to a head as Mars makes its way into your first house. And Venus is going to move into your 12th house, which is going to kind of really expose the truth of these things, why they're happening. Now, if you are in a situation where you have a third-party situation going on, really the truth is it's because you're not happy with the current situation, right? There's something about the current situation that you do not find fulfilling. And there's an emotional detachment from things that are not meant for you. And when your soul kind of makes that decision, the physical and material world obviously follows. I get the sense that there's been a level of an indulgence for my Leos, kind of on a secret level, and yet June comes along and Page of Fire energy, you don't want to live like that anymore. You don't want to live in the mystery. You don't want to hide your true feelings and your emotions. And You're ready for embracing the new and getting yourself out of this kind of scenario. If you are somebody that's been struggling with some sort of a substance abuse, I think maybe the people in your life are going to start to say things to you. You're going to have to start to see it. And for some reason, I did get a sense of humility that comes from all of this. Now, that's not to be humiliated, but the humility meaning the acceptance of who you are, the acceptance of the situation, of how you got there, of why you got there, and what does it all mean in the greater picture of things. And like I said, all of these planets going retrograde is really going to apply your focus on what your heart truly wants and desires. Now we have this card of emotional detachment, this Four of Swords, and he comes out right underneath, or right above this King of Pentacles. And this King of Pentacles is a very stubborn energy, and this is where we can get stuck in the material world, okay? And I feel for a lot of my Leos, there's a disconnect on the material world. Now, some of you may just simply be in jobs that you don't enjoy doing, and so Mars in the 12th house, Venus in the 12th house, we start to subconsciously act out what our heart truly wants, what our soul truly desires, probably by means of sabotaging the structures that are already in our life. King of Pentacles. And I feel like this King of Pentacles is very controlling and overbearing. And I feel like there is something in Leo's life that is very controlling and overbearing. And the fact is, we want to break free from this. We want to break free because we want to know that there's something more. There's something more to life than this. Now, if we've made commitments to jobs, to people, to situations, you know, of course, there's that part of us that says, you know, we really got to follow through. We got to honor these contracts. But these eclipses are not about honoring the existing contracts. And the Saturn Uranus square is certainly not about honoring the existing contracts. Probably because those contracts were built upon foundations that you used when you were in a different person, when you were a different person, when you were on a different vibration. And this is what I mean. This is a month of ascension and integration. Look, we've done the ascension. We know that there's things in our lives that we simply don't want to partake in anymore. And we could do the whole self-sabotage 12th house thing. We could kind of allow things to unravel, which could kind of make us look like the bad guy, you know? It can make us look unreliable. It can make us look, you know, maybe like people are going to judge us. But the truth is, at the end of the day, your soul wants something different. Your soul is hungry for that change. And I have this Queen of Swords here, and I love the way that she kind of has her back turned to this King of Pentacles. And I think this is you, this Queen of Swords, back turned to those structures and commitments that are outdated and outworn in your life and that you no longer want anyways. You seem to be ignoring this thing or this person, or, you know, ignoring the commitment. In the Page of Fire can be kind of this devil may care energy. Just let it all go to hell. Okay? The Queen of Swords isn't stupid. She's not irresponsible. She knows what she wants. She has a vision for her future. And the truth is, regardless of how hard it is for you to admit, this Queen of Swords part of your personality is being ignited because there's something greater that you want for your future. There's something that you see that you don't necessarily have at this time. And the things that you do have, you don't necessarily want to invest in anymore. What the Queen of Swords is looking at directly is the Six of Cups. This is a return to innocence. This is the return to self. This is a return to true and unconditional love. And this is a state that my Leo wants to find themselves in, no matter or regardless of the path you take to get there. And there could be some forms of self-sabotage taking place because it's the only way that you'll allow yourself to get there anyways. And the truth of the matter is this King of Pentacles isn't what you want any longer. And what you truly do desire is this emotional attachment. Okay? Stepping out of the material needs, stepping out of the 3D consumerism, expectations, traditional things because you want something bigger and better in your life. And this is your soul wanting to break free so you can experience the softer, more beautiful side of life. Venus is going to move into Leo in July, and you're going to see an emphasis on all of this. But right now it's unseen, and right now you're acting out of the subconscious realm. And the things that you're doing are truly because it's what your soul wants to do and because it's the path that you want to go down. But not everybody's going to see it that way. That's going to be the tricky part of the month. Now, the Six of Cups can represent somebody from your past. It can represent a soulmate. It can represent a soul kind of love. It could represent connecting with your children as well, connecting to your family, connecting to siblings, because there's an innocence with this love. Because this kind of love isn't built on like material needs. Okay, it's not about like having the big house and the perfect career. It's more about just really truly feeling love. And I think that's what Leo's looking for now. The thing about this King of Pentacles underlying energy is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. And I see this as a resistance to the curiosity. And this Page of Pentacles might really be refusing to see the actual situation. Page of Pentacles might be not really willing to acknowledge the things that are happening right in front of him. And I don't like the fact that the King of Pentacles, who is so capable, so full of integrity, so dependable, seems to be pulling back. Page of Pentacles can be the retraction of an offer, the retraction of an agreement. And it could symbolize, you know, the ideal of a divorce, leaving a spouse, leaving a job. If you're in a job and your heart's not in it, you're going to see this play out in the material world by less money, making less money because your focus isn't there. If you're in a marriage, this could be the pulling back of the contract or the disillusion of the contract because your heart isn't there. But to me, it also symbolizes somebody who has so much to offer, but they give so very little. And if you've been tied up into scenarios where there was so much potential and somebody held so much, they could have given so much, and yet, to me, it feels almost manipulative. It feels very conditional. And I think that the situations that you're leaving are the situations that are very conditional and they're not of the heart place. And, you know, the King of Pentacles at times can be very controlling and very judgmental. And it could really make you feel closed in and disconnected. And because you have your heart and your eyes set on more of a softer, more unconditional love, this will probably feel very harsh in this reality. And this is the contrast between that unconditional love and the conditional material world. If there are parts of you that have been afraid to step away from this King of Pentacles energy because you're afraid of what's going to start to happen in your material world, like you're going to lose status, you're going to lose finances, you're not going to be able to stay here much longer. And the fact is, you're going to lose those things anyways. The fact is, money will become tight, resources will become tight anyways. The universe is going to show you that no matter how much you try, your soul doesn't belong here anymore. Your soul doesn't belong in this side of the world. Your soul doesn't belong in those jobs that you're doing just because you want the money. It doesn't belong in the relationships that you're in just because they're guarantees, just because there's contracts that you have to honor, okay? Those things are going to fall apart regardless of how much you try to keep them together. And the fact is, there's one or two ways to do this. You could do it in your time, in your control, or you could let the universe handle it. The universe tends to be a little bit harsh. But the truth is, guys, there's so much more. There's so much more. This King of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, is so small compared to what the universe wants you to experience. And this is where we've kept ourselves small. And this is what happens when Uranus makes a square to Saturn retrograde. And it says, okay, you got to put all your cards on the table. You got to be honest about what you've been doing, what you've been saying, what you've been feeling. You got to be honest about what you want, your vision for the future. You got to put it all out there. You can't beat around the bush. You can't sacrifice for everybody, because there's an element of time and divine timing at play here, and the universe kind of opening up this portal and saying to Leo, let's move. Let's jump into what you truly want and desire. Let's get out of this fear and this lack mentality. You know, just because you feel you need to stay in a certain scenario because it's safe, it's closing the door to all this fiery energy that says, come down here, because the universe is going to support you. The universe is going to support you when you follow your heart. And especially because you're a Leo and your whole experience here is all about following your heart. You're ruled by the sun. You're meant to be in the environment of happiness and fulfillment and having the ability to be yourself. And there's something with this King of Pentacles that actually makes me feel so boxed in and small. And the universe is like, come on, Leo, grow out of it. Do it. Gain the courage, gain the perspective, and stop thinking that when you walk out of this, there's nothing left. Guys, you're in major manifesting mode. By the end of the month, this is what comes into play. Two of Wands and the Magician. This is magic. This is energy. This is the world cooperating with what you want. All you have to do is ask for it. You can make this happen. You can make this happy environment happen. Okay? And the thing is, you cannot come at it from a lack mentality. This Two of Wands is somebody who has everything they want and desire. Okay? They've mastered the material world. They've achieved the goals, the career goals, the marriage goals, the children goals. They've obtained all of the things that they said they wanted to do. And this is kind of like, what's next? What does my soul want to experience next? It doesn't come from a place of, I don't have this, so I want it. It comes from a place of, I have all of this, and I'm ready to expand in a different arena. I'm ready for a different experience. So really big emphasis on the fact that the things that you want next cannot be connected to a lack mentality, meaning it cannot be brewed out of fear. If you are fearful, which the moon energy can be, if you're fearful of your truth, if you're fearful of what you truly desire, then the outcome will be everything that you fear. But you have the power to make the difference. You have the power to make the changes. You have the power to acknowledge that not only is this thing that you want to happen next achievable, but that the universe is helping you. It's giving you the tools. It's opening the doors. And all you have to do is believe in it. So it's critical by the end of the month that you become really clear on the things that you want and also have faith that the universe will provide. Now, this is one of those readings where I'm pulling out the cards and I'm like, yeah. And then the oracle cards come and I'm like, oh my God, it's perfect. You got the Buffalo Spirit, card number 10. 10 represents endings and new beginnings. And the Buffalo Spirit, the abundant universe will provide. Guys, you can't be afraid of the endings. It's a process. It's a process that your soul has to go through. Is it easy? No. Can it be easier if you don't fight and resist the change? Yes. But the Buffalo Spirit, again, there's an emphasis on the gratitude for the experiences of the past because it's like stepping stones to your future. And you have to start to look at things like, okay, it was a beautiful situation. At one time, this King of Pentacles was everything that you wanted and desired. At one time, you manifested that situation in your life. And it gave you so much abundance. It gave you so many beautiful things. And yes, your soul has outgrown it. Yes, you're ready to leave it. But if you leave it in a negative way, if you leave it without the integrity behind it, then you're going to set the tone for the next phase. And you don't want to bring that negative energy into the next phase. So emphasis on the gratitude, emphasis where this King of Pentacles manifestation got you here. And now the next manifestation comes in and you're brave enough to endure the changes that need to go on in order to embrace that. But it's a clear indication. The universe wants you to know that it supports you. It supports these dreams. It supports what your heart desires next, and it's working with you. You are being supported. So you can let all those fears go. The fact that maybe you can't survive without this King of Pentacles. Maybe you won't be able to make ends meet in the physical world. Maybe you're worried about money. You're worried about finances. You're worried about your integrity, okay? You could be worried about what other people think of you because the King of Pentacles energy is all about the integrity. And if people find out what's truly inside, like what you're truly doing, what you truly want in life, you worry that they'll judge you. And that's because somewhere deep down inside, you're judging yourself. And you have to change that perspective. Look, when you're under the energy of fire, and especially as a fire sign, the universe tends to pull you down these paths. It doesn't make you a bad person. It means that you're following your heart, which means your heart is not in the direction of the King of Pentacles anymore. And nobody can separate a Leo from their heart. They will always follow their heart. And the universe is telling you it's okay. It's okay to drop the fears. It's okay to drop the hesitation. And it's okay to follow your heart. You will be supported. And then we got this really cool card, which is the Galactic Mushroom, the Divine Matrix, card number 24, breaking down to a 6. Again, we're in that heart space. Look at all of the 6s that are in this reading. There's very divine timing here. And this card is an interesting card because it means that there's a lot of integration going on below the surface, which is what I'm talking about, the clearing out of the subconscious and the self-sabotage. If you're doing something behind somebody's back, the guilt that you carry is going to grow roots. So you might as well step into your integrity. And the Queen of Swords in the middle of your reading indicates to me that you have to be in your integrity, because she's all about discernment, and she's all about cutting out those things in her life that don't serve her, that don't serve her future self. And the Divine Matrix is a promise that the things that are happening now are meant to place you on a different path, because that path is meant to affect probably a lot of people. Now, maybe you're leaving a marriage and you have children and you're worried about how the kids are going to be affected, right? This is just an example. So maybe you've made some choices to stay in the marriage to create a solid environment for the kids. What you don't realize is that what your children might be seeing is a lesson of humbling yourself and not going for what you truly want and desire. Here we are in our human mind thinking we're doing what's right, but really we're instilling some bad karma into our children. We're setting bad examples. It's really important to understand that there's a lot of people involved in here, and there's a lot of stuff that's getting worked out. Again, another indication that the universe is working with you. It's working for you. The timing might feel frustrating, okay? But I think the universe is waiting for you to catch up with your heart, waiting for your mind and your physical body and everything to catch up with what your heart and your soul already knows. There's a clear path here that you're being invited to go down, but you can't take fear with you. And the final card you got is card of despair. I think this came up for you before. I need your divine intercession right now, O Great Spirit. Lift this darkness from my soul. Free me from this burden. Open me to your highest plan. May I be a peaceful vessel for your love. Guys, you can't stay here. You can't stay in this King of Pentacles place. You can't stay in these structures that limit you. And you being limited is going to affect a whole lot of other people. It's going to affect the whole matrix of how things work, honestly. This is what happens when you hold a Leo back from their true heart and their true desire. And right now, like I said, you feel boxed in, you feel stuck, and you're going to want that change, and you're going to need that change. And either you're going to do it out of integrity, or the universe is going to kind of blow the whistle on you. And then you're going to have to do a lot of cleanup. When you're in the darkness, there's nowhere to go but towards the light. And the light is going to show its way for you, Leo. You're going to know what to do, and you're going to know when to do it. And the truth is, this is about so much more than your commitments and your integrity. Your heart is worth so much more. And it's really important that you be in the heart space, because in that place you make the world a better place. You create a more beautiful environment for your children and your loved ones. And there's probably parts of you that are feeling raw and emotional and not so great right now, and therefore the environment that you're hosting for others may not feel so great. You could probably expect July to bring in a lot of elements of healing for you. And I think that this turning point in June is going to put you right back on your path. It's going to be a powerful month, guys. Hang in there. I will be back mid-month to talk about the solar eclipse and some of the other aspects going on. And I may be doing some love readings as well for the mid-month. So guys, hang in there. You're getting there. I promise, Leos. I love you so much, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Have a great month. Bye.